Hey guys, hey guys, this is Team Winning 2012 here, and today we got a special segment for you. This is going to be our first in a series of uh, archetype discussions, and today's archetype is going to be one of the more recently introduced archetypes that hasn't seen any play yet, but we feel could be a big player in the coming formats. And that deck is Gishki. Now, what the deck does is it's all based around rituals. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Oh, rituals, Saute, and everything. But the deck is actually very consistent. Now, what I'm gonna go over a couple of things of like what the deck does, how it runs, and how the cards work. So we have our Ariel, and it's basically a searcher, 1800 defender, really good, level 4, and it basically just adds any Gishki monster from your deck to your hand, which does include the rituals because I've been getting rulings on it at my locals, and because even though the rituals, as I'm not sure if you can see it, but they say Evi Gishki, since the Gishki is still in their name, you can still get them off of Ariel's effect. So that's always good, and that makes it a lot easier. One of the other really good cards that they have, I feel, is Gishki Chain. What this does is whenever it's normal summoned or set, oh, well, actually, just when it's normal summoned, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if there's a ritual monster or spell card, you get to add it to your hand. Now, this is good because it's better than Pot of Duality because your opponent doesn't get to see what the cards are. And then after you're done looking at them, obviously you have to reveal if you're adding any of them to your hand, but they have to be a ritual spell or monster card. But after that, you get to return them to the top of the deck in any order. You don't shuffle. So that helps you set up for plays in the future. So this card's pretty good. It's also an 1800 4-star beater. Next up, we have another one of the main searchers, Gishki Abyss. Level 2, and when it's summoned, not normal summoned, but summoned in any way, so normal or special, you get to add a Gishki monster from your deck with 1,000 or less defense. And yes, that does include Evagishki. Although none of the current Evagishkis have less than 1,000 attack, eventually they're going to come out with one that has 1,000 defense, so that's good. And this card works really well with Deep Sea Diva if you run it, which allows you to go, Diva, activate, get out Abyss, search out for some of your bigger monsters, and set up for bigger plays, and then you can just exceed out Nagachi, and so it sets up some pretty big plays. Next card is Gishki Beast. This card actually came out before the Hidden Arsenal came out of Photon Shockwave. And it's a common rare. It's a level 4, and when it's normal summoned, you get to target level 4 or lower Gishki monster in your graveyard and special summon it in face-up defense position. It's basically an instant rank 4 exceed, or you can target like an Abyss and get the special and get the add to your hand effect. So that's always good too. And then we have Gishki Marker, which isn't as good as the others, but it's still worth running. Oh, by the way, I'm only going to show you the ones that I feel are actually somewhat worth running. There are a couple of them that are just completely and utterly crap that I'm not going to show you. Basically what it does is, when it's summoned, you can target any Gishki ritual monster or a ritual spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's kind of like a recycler. I really like it. It's decently consistent. And then my favorite card of the entire deck that isn't a ritual monster is Shadow. Basically, you can either ditch him to add a ritual spell card to your hand, or you can ditch him for the full cost of a ritual summon for Evagishki, which is really good. And then the two rituals. You have Soul Ogre and Mind August, and these two basically what they do is Soul Ogre is your big beater, and you can ditch a Gishki monster to target a card your opponent controls and return it to their deck, I believe. Yes, and then the deck gets shuffled, so you just keep putting all their stuff back into their deck. They can't reuse monsters, new monster reborn. So, I mean, it's a good card. It's 2800 beater, 8 star, so that's good. And then Mind August, what it does is it's basically a pot of Av. Except for you can return any 5 cards at all. You can return spells, traps, monsters, anything to the deck when it's ritual summoned. That's really good. It recycles the entire deck and makes the deck completely and utterly badass. And of course, the ritual spell Aquamirror. And really all it does is it gets out the rituals. It's pretty simple, like most rituals. But unfortunately for Gishkis, you have to have the exact number of stars, so that's kind of makes it harder. But I mean, with Shadow, it doesn't really matter. But also with this, you can target a Gishki ritual monster in your grave and this card, and you can return this card to the deck and return the ritual monster to your hand. Which is great, because it's like Recycle City. It's like, oh yeah, I just recycled everything with Mind August, and you like torrentialed, okay. Aquamirror effect, return Mind August to my hand and Aquamirror to my deck, so now I can just go and do it all again. And it just sets up for some herp-a-derp plays, so. Some tech cards that you might want to consider running in the deck. Salvage kind of recycles the monsters a bit. Moray of Greed, draw power, and everything. And then, of course, you might want to run a Diva Engine with, like, Lost Bluebreaker or Spined Gilman, whatever you prefer. But, yeah. So, that was the discussion, and, be on the lookout, because I feel like Gishkis could become a really good deck in the near future. I'm already running them, and so far my deck has gone, I want to say, like, 12-2, and it's only lost 2 games. Like, those weren't matches, they were just games. But literally it won every match. It hasn't lost a match yet, it's won every match. And it's only 2 game losses are to Inzektor, and that's only because they win game 1, but then you side in heavily game 2 and you kick butt. So, yeah. Thanks a lot, you guys, and, Team Winning 2012 out.